Sandra here. Hope you're having a great morning and welcome to Business Mindset. Just getting all my tech issues underway this morning. Just got a few little technical issues. Welcome to the webinar. Here we are. Welcome to today's webinar. Thank you for being here. I was away last week, as you all are aware, that I was teaching NLP last week up until Friday. Unfortunately, we didn't get to do the last 2 days of NLP due to lockdown here in Melbourne. And if anyone needs to be able to keep their mindset up and running at the moment, it's all us Melburnians. So welcome to everyone. Welcome to everyone on Facebook Live as well. I am streaming live. Hopefully it's working on a new laptop today. But anyway, let's get started. Thank you for being here. As usual, I will share my screen to share my PowerPoint. I will have the chat box up. So please, if you would like to say anything, I do have the chat. Say hello to me. Let me know that you're there. Especially being in Melbourne, it's really great that I know that there are some people watching me this morning. I know you're there because I can see, but it'd be nice for some of you to say hello. So especially in these really, like I said, very, very tough times of being in Melbourne, it is very important that we develop a business mindset, a resilient business mindset, and keep that business mindset going. Business can be difficult at the best of times, and of course, at the moment, it can be extremely difficult for some people. This includes myself. Hi, Trevor. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you again. And as I said, business can be difficult at the best of times, and especially at the moment. This lockdown has impacted me in a very big way this time, which if you follow me on Facebook, now that my mini break's over, my NLP, most of it's over, we are sorting something out for me to teach these lovely Melbourne practitioners. I will be on Facebook more, I will be on my groups more, so you will see a lot more of me and a lot about my little journey. Hi, Ree, you feel for me? Cool. I'm hoping I get to see you in a few weeks. Currently, I have put in an application to self-quarantine with the South Australian government. I haven't heard back from them yet. So as I was saying, sometimes we need to really keep a resilient mindset, not just in business, but in personal life, because we just don't know what is happening around the corner. And it's important that if we can develop some really, yeah, me too, Ray, if we can develop some great resilience and some of the skills that I'm going to show you and explain to you why we have to develop these, it does help. And of course, I'm very good at pivoting. I'm very good at being flexible, having flexibility of behavior, which is really important. And of course, on Friday last week, I hit into all of that to try and see what happens next. But let's keep going. So let's talk a little bit about why we need a business mindset, a resilient mindset, and how it actually affects everything that we do. A lot of people actually think that business is all about strategy. It's a lot more than that. What happens to us on a daily basis is very, very poignant, so to speak, in what happens in our business life. And the reason for that is that external things outside of ourselves, and like I said, this lockdown is one of those events. And depending on my mindset is how I'm going to cope with what happens at the moment. So let's have a look at how we create an internal representation, because our thoughts create everything that happens outside of ourselves. So an event happens, and we label that event using our visual, eyes, auditory, kinesthetic, olfactory, meaning smell, and gustatory senses. So our 5 senses, and we then label that experience, and that experience is labeled by what we think about it. Okay, so this is why when I say we need a resilient mindset, is because anything that happens in business, we will also label it according to our experiences and how we filter through that experience within our psyche. So lots of different things happen in business, lots of different things happen in life, and it's important that we understand who we are and how we think to be able to move forward, or to be able to make the most resourceful decisions when it comes to our business lives. And of course, I'm talking about business, but guys, we can run these through any area of life whatsoever. So let's have a look at how this happens. The NLP communication model of the world. This particular communication model actually changed my whole life. So let's have a look at how, because I think it's really important that we understand how our mindset affects us before we talk about some things that you can do to actually help change your mindset or help you have a more resilient or growth mindset. So an event happens outside of ourselves. That particular event gets filtered through to us, as I said, using our visual, our auditory, our kinesthetic, our olfactory, and our gustatory, our 5 senses. So it gets filtered to us into our thoughts using our 5 senses. And roughly, we get about 11 million bits of information per second thrown at us from our external environment. The next thing that happens is, out of these 11 million bits of information, now, could you imagine the unconscious mind trying to constantly take in 11 bits of information per second? What happens is we delete, first of all, we delete everything that we think is not important to us. We distort what's left according to our filters and what we know of the world and all our past experiences, and we generalize everything else to make sense of it. So it is our unconscious mind that actually deletes, distorts, and generalizes those 11 million bits of information, and we take in only 126 bits of information per second, of which consciously we will only remember 7 plus or minus 2. I'm lucky these days if I even can actually remember 3 bits of information, consciously. So that, coupled with our state, and our state are not our emotional feelings, but our thoughts. So, what we're thinking at the time, whether, we're feeling happy, feeling grateful, things like that. And when I say feeling, it is a state of mind, not an emotional chemical feeling. And our physiology, in other words, how we're holding our body, how we feel, whether we're ill, creates our internal representation. Okay, so there's a lot of factors. So how do we delete, distort, and generalize? That happens according to our internal filters. That happens according to our emotions from the past that we're holding on, limiting beliefs, other things that in NLP we call meta programs, how you were brought up, your language, or there's a whole multitude of things of how we delete, distort, and generalize. So you can start to see already that your mindset will have an impact in what you delete, distort, and generalize. Once you get all that information in, that will then create how you behave according to what that, around that event, and according to how you have filtered in that information. So 2 people can have exactly the same event happen, and they will behave completely different due to their internal filters of the unconscious mind. And guys, please ask any questions as we go through. So now that you know that what you see outside of yourself is filtered into your unconscious mind according to your beliefs, your thoughts, your state of mind, it is important that you start to understand that you need to start focusing and giving the unconscious mind focus on what you want, so that it can actually look out there outside of yourself and filter the information that you want and not the information that you don't want. And unfortunately, a lot of people know what they don't want. Now, the unconscious mind does not understand a negative. If I have to say to you, don't think of a blue balloon, the first thing you will do is think of a blue balloon and say, oops, shouldn't have thought of that blue balloon. So what happens is the unconscious mind does not understand what we call a negation, anything negative, and it will focus on what it thinks you want. So all of a sudden, you will start seeing blue balloons, okay? My best metaphor for the unconscious mind would have to be a Google search engine, okay? Whatever you type into that Google search engine, it will bring up. Whether you put in "don't show me a blue balloon" or whether you put in "show me a blue balloon," the Google search engine will find you a blue balloon. So if you're wanting a goal, if you're wanting any forms of goals in your business life, in your personal life, you must focus on what you want 100% and know that your mindset supports that. Because just 1% of you being unfocused will take you 600 miles away from your goal. Let me explain that again in a metaphor. I love to tell stories, and for anyone who's watching this, who's joining me at one of my NLP trainings at some stage in 2021, the metaphor I love to use here is, imagine if a pilot was taking off from Melbourne to go to Sydney. If that pilot veered only 1% off its course, it will end up 600 miles away. And this is exactly how your unconscious mind works. So if you just deviate 1% away from what you want by not becoming aware, and as I said at the beginning of this, I started these Monday morning musing webinars this year with my 7 steps to living with intention, of which mindset is number 5. And this is the reason why. If you don't understand what you are actually thinking about internally, and it's not just the thoughts. One of the things that I often say is that one of the reasons why I got deeply into this is because I kept saying affirmations and I couldn't still create what I wanted in my life. And it was that I realized that it was great to think and say the affirmations, but if I wasn't holding the correct pictures in my head of what I wanted, it was still not having the effect that it needed to, because you need to know exactly what's going on within your unconscious mind. So let's have a look at this. Imagine a light bulb, 100-watt light bulb, you know, in the roof, and in the ceiling, I should say, not in the roof, and it's turned on. It spreads light all over the room. Okay, so it's 100 watts is spread throughout the whole room. But if you get a 100-watt laser, it will cut through glass. And your thoughts are the same. If you have scattered thoughts, you will get scattered results. If you have laser beam thoughts, you will have direct results, and it will cut through exactly what you want. So let's have a quick look at the difference. I'm just going to go quickly through this, the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset. Very, very important. So a fixed mindset is that mindset where the belief that skills, intellect, and talents are set and unchangeable. And a growth mindset is the belief that skills, intellect, talents can be developed through the practice and perseverance. Now, really important that we understand at this point that as humans, we do have some physical limitations, and there will be some things, go back. I'm pretty sure if I that I did something on SMART goals, and it will be somewhere on YouTube. But you need to make sure that when you are developing a growth mindset, that you know the difference between what a limitation is and what a limiting belief is. A limitation is more, if you know, something that I would say, I can't swim, I want to become an Olympic swimmer. Now, that's a limitation, because for me to have become an Olympic swimmer, I would have had to start developing a physical physique that matched the Olympic swimmers from when I was a little child. But I can go and learn to swim. Okay, so there's a massive difference. So here's some of the things that I would love you, if you're watching this either live now or if you watch this on replay, you know, you can comment on YouTube if you do watch this, or send me an email if you get this through the recording, or please comment in the chats some of these that you might be struggling with. So desires. I'll stick to what I know. Either I'm good at it or I'm not. I want to learn new things. I'm eager to take risks. Okay, that's the difference between a fixed and a growth mindset. A growth mindset takes risks. It's fine the way it is. There is nothing to change. It is really my best work. What else can I improve? Let's remember that one of our 6 core needs is to constantly, we're looking for growth. Okay, so it's really important that you develop, you know, a mindset where you're looking for growth. Effort. This is a waste of time. There's a lot to figure out. I know this will help me, even though it is difficult. Okay, sometimes things are difficult and take action, and you need to take some action and go through some difficult things. For instance, me trying to get into South Australia to teach NLP in 3 weeks. Okay, I have gone to a lot of effort already to put in an application with South Australian Health, and if I get that application goes through, I will be self-quarantining for 2 weeks. It's worth the effort for me. Okay, it's going to be difficult, but it's going to be worth the effort for me. And I've already started to think about all the things that I'm going to do while I'm in quarantine for 14 days. I mean, we're in quarantine here in Melbourne, and I'm looking at it changing, reframing the way I feel. It's going to be a little mini holiday for me. Okay, it's easier to give up. I'm really not smart. I'll use another strategy. My mistakes help me learn. Okay, there's always a different way to do something. Feedback. This work is boring. No one likes to do it. I recognize my weaknesses and I know what to fix. Okay. We all often have to do things that are boring and that we don't like to do. But you know what? You need to recognize your weaknesses, and you have a look at what solutions can I do. So a growth mindset, as you can see, it's about not allowing those obstacles or those thoughts in your head to stop you. You think, what else? Okay. It's easy for him or her. They were born smart. I wonder how they did it. Let me try and figure it out. So this is all, actually, I love this last one because it is all about NLP. NLP is created on modeling. So you can see that NLP has a growth mindset because it is created on modeling. We model what was done before us and what has worked before us. Okay, so I'd love to know, fixed or growth mindset. We're going to have a look at some things that you can actually do to change that, and things that you can do right now to change that, because there's no better time than right now. And if you do see that you do have some of those fixed mindset traits, that's okay. It's all about recognizing them and saying, okay, I'm going to do something different this time. So the very first thing you need to do is develop a growth mindset. Go back to that last slide and have a look at it, and have a look at where you haven't got a growth mindset, and slowly have a look at what you can do instead. And usually when we make these changes, you don't have to do them all at once. One little tweak will change a lot of things for you. Don't live in fear of failure. A lot of people live in the fear of failure. There is no such thing as fear, only feedback. So instead of being in that, and I'm not saying take really big risks that are going to put you in massive danger. Of course not. You have to always evaluate what you're doing, but don't live in the fear of failure. As a business owner, if you live in that fear of failure, it will stop you from moving forward and taking a chance. And some of the best things happen when you take a chance. And I'm going to say that with 100% congruency, because at the end of last year, I stepped out of my fear of failure, stepped out of fear of anything else that was going on around me, and decided to run NLP trainings all around Australia. And I have now had the pleasure of meeting some incredible new clientele, including here in Melbourne. I've got people that are booked, are going to finish, hopefully this weekend, their 7-day training here in Melbourne. And I've got people booked in September, and I've got people in Adelaide, Brisbane, and Sydney. Now, okay, we might have to postpone with what's going on, but it has allowed me to expand my network and get to help some people who are wanting to help themselves and improve themselves so that they can help other people. So the ripple effect continues, okay? And if I didn't step out of that fear of saying, oh, what if nobody buys, what if nobody comes to the trainings, I would not be doing what I'm doing today. And like I said, I have met some amazing new people through this. Adopt an abundance attitude. Again, this can also be a fear of scarcity. So adopt an abundance attitude. Adopt an attitude of I've always got enough, money's flowing to me. One of the other things that I do for people who watch this that don't know, I do some money work and money frequencies, which is really important, because if you don't have your mindset around money right, it will actually impede your business success as well. Because again, it's a fear of failure and a fear of scarcity go hand in hand. So adopt an abundance attitude. I have everything I want and more, and actually see yourself doing that and knowing that your business will grow and give you what you need. Create a long-term goal and keep chipping at it. Remember your why. Remember that goal, why you want to do what you want to do, why you want your business. And every time you start falling into that fixed mindset, remember that big goal and just chip it away day at a time. And you know what? Some days things will work and some days things don't. And some days things sort of work and you tweak them around. But remember that big picture. If you keep looking at the big picture and keep chipping away at it, what do I need to do today to get to that big picture? Eventually you chip through the whole thing and you get to that goal. Okay? Practice gratitude. Really important that we keep our vibrational frequency as high as we possibly can and practice gratitude. Like I said, one of the first things that I said, last week here when we're going into lockdown, I had some students here and we were talking about me having to possibly self-quarantine, and we were talking about how great is it going to be? I don't have to cook or clean or anything like that for 14 days. So we had a good laugh. I practiced gratitude for the actual fact that I might be able to do it. Okay, celebrate your wins, really important. See, we constantly, we are trained, our mindset is trained to always look at the negatives. And for us, we fall into the negatives so very easily and so very quickly, because we've got those being thrown at us constantly, even in the media. In the media, they're constantly talking about the worst case scenario of everything that's going to happen. So we default to that negative. So you know what, when something's really good, celebrate it, and celebrate it with gusto and enthusiasm, and make sure that you let people know, okay, because the unconscious mind loves that. Surround yourself with like-minded people that lift you up. Really important. Find a tribe. Find a tribe that believes in you, that believes that you can do what you want to do. Nothing worse than having people telling you you can't do that, to get you back into that fixed mindset. Okay? Meditate, take time out for yourself, and self-care are paramount in being able to have a successful business mindset. Time for you. Okay? Set up a morning and evening routines, really important. Lots of people talk about morning routine and forget an evening routine. You need a wind down as well. Okay? Plan for success. In other words, we've spoken about this before. Have a planner, plan out what you need to do every day and stick to it. I'm not going to go into that because I've done many YouTube videos and webinars on planning. Okay, so plan and stick to your plan. Without a plan, you're just going to go all over the place. Okay, and seek out the help of a coach or a mentor. I know a lot of people get very, very funny about this, but I'm going to tell you that my best work always comes when I'm working with a coach or a mentor. I constantly have a coach or a mentor. Sometimes I have two, because at the moment I'm working with one on mindset and I'm working with one on strategies as well. I'm lucky enough that for my clients I do both, but you need to have someone to bounce off. Someone who can look outside of your box and see the instructions to what it is that you want to do. And every time you want to level up, you need to find someone who's going to help you level up. So a coach is someone who will actually help you find the answers within yourself. Okay, and a mentor is someone who's already done the work before you and will tell you how to do it. So important. This out of all, I mean, they're all important, but this has got to be one of my biggest, most important points here. And often I say to people who say, I can't afford a coach or a mentor, can you afford not to have one? Okay, so just have a think about that. Okay. So that's it for me today, guys. Thank you for being here. I am hoping, fingers crossed, that I will be here Monday next week at 10 a.m. If not, we will let you know. The reason why I say that is that if I do leave for South Australia, it has for quarantine for 14 days. It does have to be next Monday morning. So I cannot promise that I will be doing my Monday morning Musing webinar next week, but I will attempt to do something. So let's see how we go. Everything shall reveal itself this week. But again, if you would like to speak to me, you can find me on YouTube, of course, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram under Sandra Madafferi. Reach out on any of those platforms. Send me private messages if you'd like to have a chat about this, or you can reach out to me at admin@sandramadafferi.com.au. Thank you again for being here, guys. I really do appreciate you all being here with me, and I look forward to seeing you. Just found your YouTube channel. Thanks. No problems, Matthew. Glad you found it. Emma, thank you so much. Sandra, great presentation. Thank you, Emma. I look forward to seeing everyone on Facebook this week. If you want to jump on and be my friend, or jump into one of my groups. I plan to do lots of Facebook Lives. I am in quarantine, so apart from a 1-hour walk each day that I can do, you know, I'm around, so I'm going to make the most of it. It's a great way to be back into normal swing of things this week. So I look forward to seeing everyone hopefully soon. Just stay you know, just stay in connection with me, because I don't know what's going to happen in the next week. But if I do fly to South Australia, I hope to bring a YouTube before, you know, do my Monday morning before I leave. If not, I will see you at some stage in Adelaide. Okay, Ray, fingers crossed. Bye for now. Thank you, Trevor. Appreciate you being here.